Hello and welcome to today's science lesson. So first of all guys, can we all turn and wave and say a big hello to our friends on camera?
Hello.
Hello. And we'll begin by doing our meditation sequence. So I will sit down, take 2 fingers, find our heart center, left hand on our lap and close our eyes. And when you're ready guys, you can open your eyes and come back to the room. Okay? And next we'll do our stretching sequence. So let's stand up and push in our chairs. And let's begin by stretching up high to the sky. And then stretch down low to touch our toes. Now, let's stretch back up high to the sky. And this time, can we go tippy-toe high? Give a wave while we're there. And then back down low to touch our toes. Stand up straight. Hands on hips. Let's have a wiggle. Stop. Another wiggle. Stop, forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards, and stop. Let's go round and round. Round and round. Round and round. And stop. And next we'll go back the other way. Round and round the other way. And then we'll stop. And to finish, we're going to do 5 star jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent guys, have a seat. So who can remember what we learnt about in the previous science lesson?
Water properties.
Excellent, that's very good guys. Water, how do we spell?
W-A-T-E-R.
Water properties. P-R-O-P-E-R-T-I-E-S. Water properties.
Water properties.
Very good. And who can remember the 2 different properties we looked at in the last lesson? First of all, we looked at shape. How do we spell shape? H-A-P-E. Shape. And then secondly, we looked at color.
C-O-L
O-R. Excellent. Water properties.
Water property.
Shape.
Shapes.
Colour.
Color.
So, who can remember? What did we decide about the shape of water? It can be square. It can be circle. It can be tall. It can be short. Water can be anything. Remember when we were pouring the water into the different containers, the shape of the water would change with every container. So we decided that water was shapeless. Okay? Water, W-A-T-E-R, is shape. L-E-S-S. Water is shapeless.
Water is shapeless.
Yes, if you pour water into a circle container, the water will become a circle. If you pour water into a square container, what shape will the water become?
Square.
Square. The water changes depending on the container because water is shapeless.
Water is shapeless.
Yes. And then our second experiment, we looked at
Color.
colour. What did we decide about water, the colour of water? Water is colourless. So we'll write water, W-A-T-E-R, is colour, C-O-L-O-R-L-E-S-S, colourless.
Colorless.
Water is colourless.
Water is colorless.
Yes, if you have a glass or a bottle of water, if you look closely, you'll be able to see through the water. You might not be able to see clear, but you'll be able to see through to the other side. That's because water is colourless. And what did we do in our experiment? Remember when we added colours to the water? Then the water changed colour. What happens if we add red to water? What colour did it become?
Red.
Red. What happens when we added green to water?
Green.
It became green. Blue,
Blue.
orange,
Orange.
purple,
Purple.
brown,
Brown.
pink.
Pink.
Yes. Whatever colour we add to water, the water will become that colour. Because water is colourless. Okay. Now today we're going to look at water property number 3. Does anybody have any idea what it might be? Relation to heat. We're going to look at temperature. Temperature. Okay, so let's spell that word together. T-E-M-P-E-R-A-T-U-R-E. Temperature.
Temperature.
What does temperature mean? Temperature means the heat of something. How about now? Cold. How about hot? Hot, cold is temperature. How are you feeling now? Are you feeling hot? So your temperature is hot. If you are cold, how is your temperature? Yes, your temperature or the temperature of items depends on the heat of them. So today we're going to look at the temperature of water. Okay guys? Very well done. Round of applause. And now we're going to take a look at a PowerPoint presentation about water temperature. So let's all turn our chairs to have a look at the TV screen, guys. Okay, so let's take a look at our PowerPoint presentation about Water temperature.
Water temperature.
Water temperature
Water temperature
can change.
can change.
Does anybody know what these items are called? These are thermometers.
Thermometer.
Yes, and you see this thermometer? Inside is a red liquid. This liquid is called mercury.
Mercury.
And what happens, you see the numbers on the side of the dial. Here is 0.
Zero.
If the temperature is 0 degrees, the mercury will fall to 0. 0 is freezing. Yes, but in some places it can be as cold as minus 40 degrees. So the mercury could fall all the way to the bottom. Where we are in Thailand, the temperature now is around here, about 30 degrees. So you see, the mercury is between 20 and 40. So now it's about 30 degrees Fahrenheit. What's the highest temperature it can go?
120.
120 degrees Fahrenheit or 50 degrees Celsius. Has anybody ever seen a thermometer like this? You never use one at home? Sometimes you see them in the kitchen where we cook food because we need to know about the heat of things when we cook them. And here we have a digital thermometer. You can see there is no mercury in this thermometer, but what we do, we can use the point and place it into objects or water, and the digital reading will tell you the temperature. These are the types of thermometers we use at hospitals if we want to know how hot somebody is. Can anybody read this here?
Yes.
What can you see? 98.6 degrees, almost boiling. 0 degrees is freezing. 100 degrees,
100 degrees.
boiling.
Boiling.
Yes. So water temperature can change.
Water temperature can change.
Normally, water
Water
is a liquid.
is a liquid.
Yes, it's a liquid, and you know it's a liquid when it moves and it is wet. When water is a liquid, we can drink it. Yes, you think about your bottle of water. When you pour water out of the bottle into a glass, it is a liquid. What colour is the water? Colourless. Yes, you can see through the water. There's no colour, it's colourless. What shape is the water? Shapeless. But what's happening now? The water is being poured into a round glass. So the water will be a circle. But water itself is shapeless. If water freezes,
Water freezes.
it turns to ice.
It turns to ice.
Yes, does anybody know what these are?
Ice.
Ice cubes.
Ice cube.
Yes, sometimes put these into our drinks to keep our drinks cool. And you can see ice is hard water. When water freezes, it gets hard and it becomes ice. Water freezes
Water freezes
at 0 degrees.
at 0 degrees.
Yes, you can see here, this man, very cold. You can see his breath. When he breathes, the breath leaves his body, it's warm. But when it comes into the cold, it turns into smoke. And he has to wear a big coat because he's so cold. So water freezes at 0 degrees. If water boils, it turns to steam. Yes. You see all this smoke or vapor coming from the water here? This is steam. Yes. Have you ever seen at home when your mum or your dad, they use a kettle? And then when the water boils, what comes from the top of the kettle? Steam. Because when the water boils, it gets so hot, it turns into steam. So if water boils, it turns to steam. Water boils at 100 degrees. So you can see here the 3 different types of water. Ice. Water in liquid form. And here we have steam. Okay. So one more time, let's go through it. Water temperature can change. Normally, water is a liquid. If water freezes, it turns to ice. Water freezes at 0 degrees. If water boils, it turns to steam. Water boils at 100 degrees. Ice. Water. Steam. Any questions, guys? No. Excellent, well done. Welcome back to class. We hope your students enjoyed the PowerPoint presentation about water temperature and how the different temperatures makes water change. We had ice. Water in liquid form. And then steam. Steam. Okay, and now time for our stretching sequence. So let's all stand up and push in our chairs. So let's begin by going left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Stand up straight. Now we'll do 5 stretches to our left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next we'll do 5 stretches to our right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's stand up straight. And now let's stand on our left leg. Left leg. Let's swap. Stand on our right leg. Left leg. Right leg. Left leg. Hop 5 times. 3, 4, 5. Now let's swap to our right leg. Hop 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and this time 10 times, but each time we swap legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent, guys. And to finish, 5 jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent, have a seat. Now we're going to give a demonstration of how temperature can affect water. And I have my two assistants, Lakgao and Pangpon, to help me. So first of all, we're going to look inside our bowl. And what do we see, guys? Ice. Can you feel? Do you want to have a touch? How does it feel? Cold, yes. And also hard, yes. Ice is basically cold, hard water. It's frozen. When water freezes, it becomes ice. And ice is cold, hard, and wet. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the next type of water. This is water in normal form, liquid. Now what we do, if we had time, we would wait for the ice to melt. But it would take a few hours, and we haven't got time in the lesson. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour some liquid water onto the ice, and that will make it melt more quickly. So here we go. Now you'll see, as I pour the water, you should see that it will start affecting the ice. Because the water is a warmer temperature, the ice begins to melt more quickly. You can see the ice becoming smaller. And can you see it becoming more clear?
Yes.
You can start to see through the ice. And you can see here now, maybe if I turn it around a little bit more, you can see here. Now I can start to put my finger inside the ice, because the ice is melting with the warmer water. What you should start to see is the ice becomes smaller as the water rises. And now see, you've got bits here now of the ice beginning to fall off. We have like the ice beginning to melt and crack. And this will carry on for as long as we pour the water. You see, now I can pick up. We have the ice here. Before, when it was a large block of ice, and as you can see, as I'm adding warmer water to it, the ice is melting.
Melting.
Yes, when the ice starts to become water again in liquid form, it is melting. So let's carry on. We'll pour it all into the bowl. You see as it's getting smaller? If we had a few hours, we'd wait for longer and you would see it completely disappear. The ice would completely disappear. But what we'll try to do, I'll try to speed it up by moving the ice around. And now I should be able to break a piece off. There's a piece for you, Pangpon. Lakgao, would you like a piece? And you can see our ice is beginning to melt. And it's becoming like ice cubes, just smaller pieces of ice. And what we can do, we can break the ice off and we can start to put it into the bowl. And if we did it more quickly, you would see all of the ice disappear. Can you put yours in, guys? So there you go. That's had to be speeded up quite a lot because we only have time for the lesson. But if we would have waited maybe 5 or 6 hours, this is how the ice would be. It would continue to melt. So firstly, we had ice. Water in frozen form is ice. And then we have water in its normal form, liquid. And now we're going to have a look at water in its next form. Does anybody remember the name of water when it gets hot and boils? Begins with S. Steam.
Steam.
So what I'm doing now, I'm going to pour some water into the kettle. This machine here that we use to boil water is called a kettle. So what I'll do now, I'll close the kettle, turn it on, and then maybe if we wait for a minute or so, what you will see is you will see water the temperature will start to rise, and then you should see something happen through the nozzle. So we'll just have to wait for a short while until the water begins to boil. And as you do, guys, you can carry on playing with the ice if you want to. Can you hear? Can you hear now the sound?
Yes.
This is the sound of the water beginning to boil. The water is getting hotter. So first of all, we've seen water in its hardened form when it freezes, ice. Then we looked at water in its liquid form, which is its natural state. Next, we're going to see what happens to water when it gets hot and boils. That word beginning with S, does anybody remember? Steam. So what I'll do, this machine is called a kettle. It's what we use for boiling water. And watch what happens after maybe 30 seconds when the water gets hot. You should be able to hear something happening inside first. Can you hear, guys? That's the water inside getting hotter. The water is beginning to boil. And you can see on the top here, can you see the bubbles? That's as the water's getting hot, the heat, the air is beginning to rise. And what we should see happen very shortly, you see? Now, can you see? Can you see the steam? Can you see the smoke rise? The water is boiling and it's creating steam that rises and escapes from the top of the kettle. So guys, first of all we had ice. How did the ice feel? Cold, hard, wet. And water, we know, is wet. And this here is very dangerous, so we're not going to ask how it feels because it's very hot. But did you notice what happened to water when it got hotter? It turned into steam. So ice, water, steam. Excellent, guys, well done. And can I get a round of applause, please, for my two assistants, Lakgao and Bangpon. Well done, guys. Welcome back to class. We hope your students enjoyed the experiment of the temperature of water and how to do it in your own class. So, guys, what do we think? Temperature. Water can be cold when it's ice, or water can be hot when it's steam. So what do we think about water temperature? What can we say?
Water can change.
Water can change. Excellent. So let's write that sentence. W-A-T-E-R. Water can change. H-A-N-G-E. Temperature. Water can change. Yes, if it's very cold, water freezes, becomes ice. And then if it gets very hot, water will boil and become steam. So water can change. Excellent, guys, well done. And now, teachers, it's time for the worksheet activity for the lesson. So what you'll need to do is print off one worksheet for each of your students. There are 5 sentences relating to water and temperature. And as you can see in the word box, there are 5 different answers. There is liquid, steam, boils, ice, and freezes. So our students need to read each of the sentences and decide with the missing word which word fits best. Okay, guys? But first thing to do, as always,
Write your name on top.
yes. And if we can give our students around 15 minutes to complete this activity, that should be more than enough. Okay, guys? So Nadia, there you go. You're welcome. Down.
Thank you, Jesus.
You're welcome. Ned,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Prel, Bangpon,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Lakgao, Chu,
Thank you.
you're welcome. So guys, have a look at your worksheet and read through the sentences and decide which word fits best. For example, remember when water is 0 degrees, very cold, what happens? Freezes. Excellent. When water is a temperature of 0 degrees, it freezes. And then for number 2, we look at the other end of the scale. When it's 100 degrees, what happens when it gets very hot? Boils, yes. Water freezes to become ice, or water boils to become steam. And number 3, at normal room temperature. How does water look normally when it's in your bottle? Excellent, it's a liquid. When it's normal room temperature, water in its natural state is a liquid. Okay, let go. Very good, yes. That's excellent, Ned. Very good. Excellent, Nadia. That's very good. Excellent. Perfect. All good answers, guys. Well done. You're doing well. Pat, very good. Keep going and then we get to the end. You only need to use each word once. So once you've used the words, you can cross them out. Excellent. Ned, very good. So yeah, once you've used the word, then you can cross them out. Perfect. Excellent, Pat. Ju, excellent. That's right. Once each word's used, you can cross them out. Perfect. Welcome back to class. We hope your students enjoyed the worksheet activity of finding out which of the words fit the sentences best. So when you're all finished, you can practice reading together like we're going to do now. So ready, guys? When water is a temperature of 0 degrees, it freezes. Very good. When water is a temperature of 100 degrees, it boils. At normal room temperature, water is a liquid. Yes. Frozen water will turn into ice. And boiling water will evaporate into steam. Excellent. So that's the end of our water properties section. Shape. Water is shapeless. Color. Water is colorless. And temperature. Water can change. That's excellent, guys. Well done. And that brings us to the end of the lesson. So we hope you found it interesting and had a good time too, particularly with the experiment of the different types of water temperature. So can we all turn to say goodbye, guys? Goodbye. Bye-bye. See you in the next lesson.